Alrighty, guys. The Iceman here on the Jeffrey Rose YouTube channel, the Iceman V2013 channel, and he's the man with the plan, the man with the knowledge, the man with the wrestling news. And first reported last night after Monday Night's Raw, I watched Sean's View Entertainment video. He was talking about injury to Seth Rollins and everything that he read to all us fans. I had also read in some rumors and resource wrestling sites as well. And apparently, it looked like Seth Rollins did, in fact, injure a knee. Uh, uh, and if you notice after the fact, the camera was off Rollins. WWE officials brought the medics out there, and they took him out back without anybody, on camera seeing this. Now, according to sources today, Seth Rollins sold that knee injury like he did it so well that people actually really thought he was hurt. Rollins is claiming that his knee is fine and everything is okay. The same goes with Dean Ambrose. He got a little bloodied up a bit by the beatdown he got in the beginning of Raw last night. That was just really to keep Ambrose out of the mix and having a 3-on-2 handicap match, having Roman Reigns and John Cena, who are two of the guys in the Fatal 4-Way at Battleground this weekend, go up against Kane, Orton, who are the other two guys in Battleground this weekend, and Seth Rollins, the fifth guy that's involved in the whole title picture. So it worked out well because Ambrose really not involved in the title picture at this point, so you had all five guys. Now, as far as Monday Night Raw goes last night, obviously it opened up. John Cena came out with a lot of boos, as usual, and this is a storytelling situation for John Cena that he has 15 title reigns, and this probably could very well be his last. But in any event, Reigns came out as well, and in the back, Ambrose was sort of like trying to get Reigns and Cena on the same page. And as he started going on in his dialogue, he was approached by none other than Randy Orton, Seth Rollins, and Kane, which beat him down, which led for Ambrose to be off the show for the rest of the night. So, pretty good segment, but in some ways, you could have predicted something like this realistically. But anyway, excuse me, pretty good segment as well. So as far as the matches go on Raw last night, we saw The Miz come out in a 9-title match against the United States champion Sheamus. Very physical match. Everybody was waiting for Sheamus to give the bro kick on The Miz. The Miz coming back as, the moneymaker, basically, the Hollywood moneymaker, the moneymaker, whatever you want to call The Miz. Obviously, he's a heel. Sheamus still as a baby face. And there was opportunities for both sides. I wasn't sure when this match started who was going to win, but apparently the WWE has decided to give The Miz another little push, and he ended up defeating Sheamus in this non-title match. But nonetheless, it was a pretty good match overall. So, we saw also Fandango come out. He had his music. But prior to that coming out, we saw Dolph Ziggler come out. And of course, this feud's been going on ever since the departures of Summer Rae and Layla, from Fandango and whatnot. And the match obviously could have been a lot better of a match, I thought, if it was just left alone the way it was. And I honestly do believe Fandango needs to come out without that music. Come out with some other type of music. Get rid of that music. I know that is his mainstay at this point, but I think it's old. It didn't work. But anyway, the two guys were going at it, and the music hit again, and here comes Summer Rae and Layla dancing on the announce table. Distraction for both Fandango and Dolph Ziggler. In the long run, Dolph Ziggler ended up getting the win over Fandango. The girls come in the ring, embracing Dolph Ziggler, and that pretty much ended that. I don't know where this is headed. I'm not really sure, but personally, the women being involved with Fandango, being gone is a good thing. But don't switch him over to Dolph Ziggler because let Dolph Ziggler do his own thing. Dolph Ziggler uh, don't need any help. He can show his abilities in the ring because he is a very, very great wrestler within the ring. Okay, Alberto Del Rio and Rob Van Dam, which we've seen on a numerous amount of occasions. I'm not really sure um, why this match was put in the mix, only for the fact probably for the Battle Royal at Battleground. Um, Obviously, this was the go home show, which a lot of us didn't realize it was because I thought Battleground was a week from this coming Sunday. But anyway, a match we've seen so many times in the past as well. A pretty good match as well. And of course, Rob Van Dam ends up submitting to Alberto Del Rio in a match that was okay. I mean, it could have been better, but I thought, it was okay. Alicia Fox and Cameron uh, against Nikki Bella. Stephanie made it a point to tell Nikki that she's out there on her own and whatnot. And she's stressing the fact she's going after Nikki, stressing the fact about Brie. We will see Stephanie and Brie somewhere down the road, possibly at SummerSlam, in a match which will reinstate Brie Bella back into the WWE Divas department here in the WWE. So anyway, it was a match where Nikki Bella, held her own, and of course we saw another new hairstyle by Alicia Fox, and of course Cameron departing from Naomi. They actually make a pretty good duo together, but obviously too much for Nikki Bella, Belly, Bella to really contend with. So they obviously ended up coming out on top. So there we had Cesaro come out all alone without Paul Heyman. Everybody was saying that Paul Heyman was around Richmond, Virginia that day earlier, but we didn't see him that night. And I honestly thought, with that being said, that maybe possibly Brock Lesnar was going to make an appearance later on in the show with Heyman, but it didn't happen anyway. But so anyway, Cesaro's opponent, Big E. Big E came out with Kofi Kingston. Uh, a pretty good match. Um, I'll be honest with you. I don't understand what the WWE is doing with Cesaro because they pushed him so hard coming out with Paul Heyman for all these weeks. And suddenly now we've seen him lose 3 weeks in a row on Raw, twice to Kofi Kingston and last night to Big E, as Cesaro was going to use a chair, and the chair he held up high, leaning over the ring ropes. And Kofi Kingston obviously took the chair away, and Big E did his signature move on Cesaro and got the pin and also the win. And what next? My girl, AJ Lee, coming out to face Eva Marie with Paige sitting at the announce table, and Paige obviously, praising AJ, saying they're friends. That's her frenemy, meaning that she's a friend and an enemy, but she respects her and whatnot. And Eva Marie put on a good showing. I'll be honest with you, I don't put much stock in Eva Marie. I don't think she has the look in the ring. I personally don't like that red hair that she's got. And of course, AJ with her signature move ended up defeating Eva Marie in a non-title match. Okay, moving along. The man that I just can't get into, Bo Dallas, coming out with that music. He's got great uh, theme entrance music, though. I like the music, and he plays the part very, very good. I mean, I give him credit for that. I just don't like the gimmick. He was talking about beating Torito last week. Supposedly still undefeated in the wrestling ring, and his next opponent is the great Khali. Now, one would think Khali should be a no-brainer to beat somebody like Bo Dallas. Um, there was a lot of slapping and whatnot, and they're pushing Bo Dallas, and I understand that. I mean, because you need to push younger stars. He ended up defeating Kali via countout, and Kali got the last laugh on him by bopping him off the top of the head, and you could see the look on Bo Dallas as he scrambled away. I mean, he played his part very, very well. I got to give him credit for that. But it was a match, you know, I don't know. They're giving Bo Dallas opponents that, obviously, you know, they want to keep this streak going. I don't know what they're doing with this streak. Sooner or later, when he gets involved with a real superstar, we'll wait and see, really what happens there. But anyway, along the way, we saw the detente segment, of course, with Lana and Rusev and Dutch Mantel, well, Zeb Coulter, I should say, and Jack Swagger. Um, Lana really putting down the United States of America. It was a very, very good segment, though. A very, very patriotic segment. And Swagger and Rusev squared off. Rusev really was nailing Jack Swagger until the end when he got the Patriot lock on him, and all hell broke loose. And the fans were just chanting, USA, USA, USA. It was a great moment between those two. I am looking forward to that match at Battleground. And whether or not Jack Swagger wins or not, he has really turned his wrestling career around, getting the fans to be on his side, and give a lot of credit there to Zeb Coulter as well. So very, very, very good segment, though. So it leads us up to the main event. Randy Orton running to Triple H, crying, saying he don't think Kane's on the same page, and Randy Orton, wanting reassurance from Triple H. Triple H has said, don't worry, blah, 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 blah. There is a plan B. We just want the belt back with the corporate. And then also we saw later on Kane running to Triple H and Stephanie as well, saying pretty much the same thing. Triple H sort of using both guys just to try to get that belt back to the corporate. And we come into the segment, of course, Ric Flair came out with Renee Young in the ring. And I'll be honest with you, I don't know if anybody else saw the same thing that I thought was. I thought Ric Flair maybe had a couple, because the way he came out, when he was trying to do a strut, it was almost like he forced himself to do it the right way. And some of the things he was just saying to Renee just made me wonder. But anyway, he was greeted before he left by the WWE World Heavyweight Champion John Cena, who, before he went into the ring, handed Ric Flair the World Heavyweight title belt, which Flair held so many times in the past. Makes you wonder whether the belt is going back to just one belt, or what, are they going to retire the World Heavyweight belt or not? It remains to be seen. But anyway, so Cena gets in the ring, and then we got Roman Reigns being called out. The fans went nuts over Roman Reigns last night. The fans are really into Roman Reigns. And then, of course, we had Rollins, Kane, and Orton, and we started our handicap match. Now, this was a match, at the time, I didn't realize it was actually the go-home show for Battleground. And although Cole and Lawler and JBL announced it, finally, so many times, and then, of course, the WWE Network got shoved down our throats. The WWE app got thrown down our throats. But this was a main event that I knew probably there would really be no pinfall for a real true winner, because it is the go-home show, and they didn't want to make anybody look weak. But in the long run, the weakest guy in this match was John Cena, because Roman Reigns ended supreme at the end. Orton did a number on the guys. Kane showed what he can do. Cena did his thing. But in the long run, I think John Cena was the weakest of the five that were out there. And that's what the WWE wanted us to think. And Roman Reigns ended up, in the ring, reigning supreme. No pun intended, reigning supreme. So looking forward to Battleground. Who do I think is going to come out as the WWE World Heavyweight Champion? I still think it's going to be John Cena, unless they change their minds, because Roman Reigns has become so popular in the last few weeks or so. It would not bother me by no means if Roman Reigns was to become champion, as long as he didn't lose it right away. So we'll just have to wait and see. So those are my thoughts on Raw last night, guys. I didn't think it was the best show of the world, or whatever. I'd give it like a 6.5, maybe 6.75 out of 10. But the show was okay. I do think the main event was pretty predictable, because you knew nobody was going to really be dominant in that match, and nobody was really going to take a pinfall and lose. So, those are my thoughts. Those are my opinions. This is the Iceman on the Jeffrey Rose YouTube channel, the Iceman V2013, the man with the plan, the man with the knowledge, the man with the news. Peace out, everybody. See you next time.